Welcome back, everyone, to the Our Coaching Network podcast. I am John Bryce of FootballScoop.com. Very excited to be joined today by Brandon Butcher, University of Tennessee at Martin, assistant coach, specifically the defensive coordinator now as of this year, and also the linebackers coach. Brandon, thanks for joining us on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just immediately dive in first and foremost to the present success that you're enjoying, both as a first-year defensive coordinator and as a team. You guys are unbeaten against FCS competition. You're 6-1. Your only loss being to Georgia, but you're playing really good football. Both sides of the ball. Your unit is strong. What's going so right for this UT Martin program this season? And also, following up on that, how is it that you guys have built on the record-setting success the program has had the past couple of years?
It ultimately always comes down to the players, man. We got a really good group of guys. We kind of have an older unit a little bit on defense, and throughout the team that's been able to sustain, and that's been here through the culture, and Coach Simpson being here so long and the success he's had, and we've got guys that have bought into it, and they kind of seen the path to success, and that 21 year, kind of my first true fall season. We were here, actually got on a good streak then, and so we had some younger guys that were on the team that played some roles and stuff. And those guys are now kind of in those leadership roles. So those guys seeing that path is success and see what it kind of takes to get us to where we need to get to. And those guys bought into it. And also we got the new guys, and, we bring some transfers and some, obviously some freshmen, and those guys have truly got into it, see what it takes. And they've been able to execute that.
When you transition from being an assistant coach into a coordinator position, what are some of the biggest challenges there? And maybe how much does it help that you already had that credibility with the guys on the staff and on the roster because of the work you'd logged the previous couple of seasons?
Yeah, it's I was kind of a special teams coordinator, so I was able to get up in front of just not only defense and offensive guys, and kind of build that relationships and different stuff, and seeing what we've done in those units, and they see me as a leader and stuff, taking over that. And it it's a challenge. It's not something that's just a smooth transition. Sometimes as an assistant coach, sometimes you're like, oh, this is easy. You just got to call plays, and it's kind of bigger than that. It's a lot bigger than that. And the choices and decisions you make day in, day out about, what's our practice plan look like? What's our, what about this adjustment versus this motion? And it's not just, okay, it affects this one player. No, it affects the whole defense, and then ultimately affects the whole team. So kind of transition into that role it has been a challenge. It has been a challenge. Every decision you make, it's 50 guys. No, it's 100 and something plus people. And then obviously the whole town and everybody that's invested into it. So it's a little bit bigger than being an assistant coach. And but I've enjoyed it. I've got good staff. I've got good players. And obviously Coach Simpson does a heck of a job to kind of let us kind of roll over here on defense a little bit, him being an offensive coach. So it's been fun. It's been enjoyable, but it's definitely been a challenge too.
You led me right into my next question, referencing Coach Simpson there. And I've known Coach for a really long time. I've been fortunate to do so. He's one of the gentlemen I respect most in the industry. He's one of the longest tenured coaches anywhere at the FCS or FBS level. And when I've talked to him in the past, he's told me how he likes to hire coaches and give them as much responsibility as possible so that they grow. How have you seen that? How beneficial is that for you in your career development?
Especially when I first got here, I've been other places, kind of a GA analyst and been around a little bit here and there. But, when you get your first position, you kind of get your feet to the fire a little bit, and he kind of allows you to make some mistakes and kind of, he doesn't micromanage. He, gets involved, like my individual drills. Like there was never, hey, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? You need to do this. Like, no, it was, hey, that's your indie, like plan it, be organized and have a plan and keep improving. And that for me allowed me to like, okay, this drill doesn't work, or this needs a change, or, so without that pressure of somebody like eyeballing every single thing I do, knowing that, hey, I can go make some mistakes, but that's where you learn the most. And that's where I've learned the most. And, I think that's one reason why I've gotten here is a lot of failures and mistakes that I have made in the past. And obviously in my time here, but, he kind of lets you roll, and you hear from when you have to hear from, and especially being the coordinator now. And we have been playing relatively well, throughout the season. So, those meetings are hopefully limited, so, but no, that's the Sunday mornings. You gotta, hey, come, let's talk some ball. But no, it's been good. And he does it very supportive of us and what we're trying to get done.
As I referenced, he holds so many records at UT Martin. He's established so much success and sustained success there. But I've written about this at Football Scoop. He has one of the most widespread coaching trees in all of college football. So how much have you looked at that? Did you look at that as you were going to UT Martin and just see, like, you come work for Jason Simpson? Like, I know Jared Parker, the offensive coordinator at Notre Dame. He's got Jeep Wade in that mix. Obviously got Kane Womack down at Troy. There's so many, South Alabama. There's so many guys out there that have worked for Coach Jason Simpson.
Yeah, Alex Atkins was up here too. We inducted in the Hall of Fame a couple weeks ago. No, you know, at the time, it's not something I probably knew. You know, our staff got let go of Southern Miss, so I was happy to get a phone call, you know, and so that doesn't really take into account. I was kind of just happy to get the job at the time. But man, and I can see why, you know, and what we've talked about, and there is some freedom a little bit in learning, and it's a great learning environment. And that's what I tell our young coaches that come around, or new coaches that come around, like, hey, like, it's not the norm. It's not everywhere you've ever been, because he's been here for 18 years. It's been established in the way he does it, and the culture, and we go about different things. But you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot, and I think that's why probably a lot of those coaches they have been through here, is because they have been able to learn and see the ways that he does, and get out and talk to other ball, be around a bunch of different coaches and stuff. So, man, I can see why his tree is so big, and what he's done is the way that he's gone about it really for 18 years. So.
So a really lighthearted question coming up here, hopefully a fun one. So we talked about it briefly before we started the show. I'm friends with Keith Carver, your former chancellor there at UT Martin. He's now gone to the flagship university in Knoxville, a great man. Consider Jason Simpson a friend. Are you closer in fashion style to pulling off the Keith Carver bow tie, or are you closer in fashion style to Jason Simpson? And why is that the case?
That's a tough one. I've never wore a bow tie, so I can't say that I could pull one off. I don't know. Never had the opportunity to do it. Probably closer to Coach Simpson. We are a little casual around here, you know, sweatshirts and you know, different stuff there. So I enjoy that more than wearing a bow tie and a suit every day.
Maybe for one of the Skyhawk walks or something like that, you can throw on a bow tie and just pay homage to Keith Carver there. Get a lot of heads turning.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy. So he was always super supportive of us, and always at the games and practice and stuff like that. So I'm disappointed to see him leave, but off the bigger and better things.
A little bit more on your current journey this year, and then we'll talk big picture about your journey. It's really interesting. But you know, your top 10 run defense, you're giving up 15, 16 points a game. Obviously, as already noted, you're undefeated against FCS competition. What makes this defense so effective, apparently at all three levels?
Yeah, man, we got some, like I said, we got older guys in the defense. And you know, Coach Pleasy was previous defense coordinator here, so working with him, and we didn't change all of that much. So kind of it's been established. So you're really coming on probably year 3 of this structure, kind of what we've been doing. So you know a lot more answers now. There's a lot more. You got more pieces and stuff that you can figure out. But the guys have bought into it and what it takes and what it looks like with what we do. We got some good players with, you know, Dalen Dotson and, you know, O'Shea Baker and Jalen Sharp, and man, I can name my whole defense, honestly. And those guys that understand it and what we're trying to get accomplished. And then they bought into being, you know, we're going to stop the run. And that's something that we're going to spend a lot of time with. That's something that we do pre-practice walkthroughs. That's something that, you know, I've done my whole time here. And that's something that we bought into, like, hey, that 15, 20 minutes of these extra runs versus these extra calls, hey, they matter. It's important. So every detail and stuff goes into it, and they understand what I'm trying to get off them a little bit. Like, hey, we got to leverage football, and they understand that that's the most important thing in our defense, and they'll tell you that. So being able to stop the run is something that we pry on, we spend a lot of time on, and I think it's resulted in a lot of success. So it's been a fun ride so far this year.
You know, hopefully one of the benefits of this series of podcasts, our Coaching Network podcast. I'm John Bryce with Football Scoop, joined by Brandon Butcher at the University of Tennessee Martin, is getting to know and understand a coach's journey. You're from Ohio, then you've been in Myrtle Beach with Coastal Carolina and a semi-pro team. You've been at the beach also, basically in Hattiesburg at Southern Miss. Now you're in teeny tiny. You have to know where Martin is to find it on a map. What can you tell us about your coaching journey, and what are maybe some of the most memorable moments along the way?
Oh man, there's probably a bunch of stories and stuff that's got me here, and obviously been around a bunch of really good coaches and stuff that I've learned from and be able to get to where I am. So obviously not just me, but no, it's been a fun journey. I did play at D2 Ashland for a year. My freshman year actually ended up getting injured, and then I kind of moved on, and my parents moved actually down to South Carolina, so I figured I'd go south and get out of Ohio's weather and no, enjoy that. So then I was like, I decided I want to coach and I want to get back into the game. And the only thing I actually started coaching, first thing I coached was girls basketball at Myrtle Beach High School. Did that for 3 years, which that's a learning experience in its own. That's a whole different world, but really appreciated that opportunity. It was fun. It was fun while I was in college. And then semi-pro football, there's an advertisement on Facebook, and it ended up doing that. Did that for a couple of years. And then once I finally graduated school, I was like, okay, I want to coach college football, and didn't have a whole lot of connections. Didn't know a whole lot of people. Didn't stay in touch with kind of my previous coaches that I probably should have. But man, I just emailed everybody in the country, honestly, until pretty much everybody in the East Coast multiple times. And East Carolina was the first one that got back to me, and they allowed me. There's a bunch of stories about that, and my interview that day was interesting. That's again for another day, but no, I showed up. This is again, learn a lot. And I showed up in khaki shorts and in a like a t-shirt because they like, hey, we're going to practice. So I was like, okay, cool. Like I just showed up, and like Coach Ruffin McNeil, an unbelievable person, unbelievable coach, and then he kind of gave me a firm talking to, we'll say, about like, hey, you don't show up to an interview like this and that. So I thought my college career was over before it even started. Luckily, I called them back the next week, and they said to come on, and actually volunteered for my first year at ECU, first semester there, and then ended up becoming a graduate assistant, and then we got let go the following season. Did my undergrad at Coastal. My wife now, she was undergrad, so once I got fired at ECU, I went down and stayed with her, and I was like, hey, I want to see if Coastal, if they have anything available. So I kind of walked up in the office and said, hey, I'm free help. You guys want some free help? And they're like, yeah, come on. So ended up being there for 3 years, GA analyst. Then kind of moved on to Southern Miss. Was there for 2 years. Coach Hobson and the staff, and that's learned a lot of ball, learned a lot of football in that time too, and worked with pretty much every position throughout my career, which has been fun. And also we got let go in that crazy 2020 year. So it's led me to here, which is, man, I'm appreciative to be here. Appreciate Coach Simpson the opportunity to where I am right now. So.
That's a remarkable journey. We've heard a lot. That one is as unique as I've heard. We had Pat McCann on earlier talking about stocking grocery shelves 3 or 4 nights a week while he had his first full-time job. Now he's running the offense at Fresno. So some interesting stuff there. I've got to ask then, you've been a volunteer assistant or an unpaid position a couple of different times. How are you making ends meet during those times?
And it's my wife, Becca. And that's girlfriend and a fiance and stuff at the time. And I going from ECU. I worked at Nike. Did work at Nike, worked some shifts there. Kind of worked some different stuff around town, just trying to make some extra money. And then at the time it was all right. We're getting married, and all right, we got to be one. If we're going to be one to make this happen, and this is the journey we want to take. And she said, yeah, let's go. So she actually she worked and took care of some of the bills. I tried to take care as much as I could. So until it paid off. And there's different times you make some more money in different places and stuff like that. But yeah, just do some odd end jobs, anything in the summer. If the coach needed, hey, I need to paint this. Hey, I'll paint it. How much? $20, cool. $40, great. Like, so just to make some little stuff there. But definitely without my wife, I probably wouldn't be here, Becca, without this, where I am today. So I'm very appreciative of her. And then this journey is, like I said, we've been on, it's been fun.
Much respect for that and for your wife. Incredible. So a 2-pronged question here. What did you learn coaching girls high school basketball that is still applicable today? And then you referenced being a part of a couple of different staffs that have been let go. How has that also molded and helped shape you and make you a better coach today?
Coaching girls basketball, the thing I learned then was they want to be coached. Like they want to be coached. Like, and that's true to the players of today. Like it's sometimes you're like, we'll just kind of let that slide. Like, no, like they want all the information. They want all the details. They want to be coached hard every single day, just as much as they did, and it's high school girl basketball to the Division I college football. Like they want to be coached and pushed and developed and get better over time. So that, that was kind of the first thing. And I was going through, I was just like, oh, this is girls basketball. And then, about a year into it, I was like, wow, this is different. This is real. I enjoy this. And a lot of those principles are still in play that, that I learned back then. So, throughout the different staffs, man, it's been a journey. That's for sure. Being fired really, honestly, probably 3 times. A lot of coaches, there's some coaches that have been fired. This coach has been fired once, but, you kind of get used to it, and this is a people business, and that's what it's about. And the relationships of the people that you spend the most time with, and, cultivating those relationships over time, knowing that at some point, hey, I'm going to probably need some help. Guess what? They're probably going to need some help. So, that's the biggest thing is the people and the treating the people the right way, and other GAs, and doesn't matter the level you are in this organization. I've been around now, 10 years of Division I football, and I've seen guys from equipment room make it up to position coaches. I've seen guys that, that start as GAs that are, I was with ECU with like Garrett Riley. He's the offensive coordinator at Clemson. You know what I mean? So different guys have different paths and stuff like that. So the biggest thing is those relationship stuff, and it's a relationship business. So learning that throughout my time is the most important thing.
How important is it for you to share your journey with your current players and help them understand, hey, failure's out there in life, and what matters is how you respond from it?
Yeah, no doubt. That was probably my first meeting as a defense coordinator. It's kind of the chip on the shoulder, a little bit. We talk about Martin Made here a little bit, and kind of our mantra a little bit this year on defense is something to prove, and because we have some new guys that stepped through some new roles. I got obviously a first time coordinator. And my D-line coach is a true first-time full-time coach. And I got two former players on my defensive staff. So we got some younger guys on staff, which along with some newer guys playing. So, going through that, there's a chip on our shoulder. There's something to prove over time. And that's what they bought into. And we go to work every single week and every single day to try to get better. So that's from me, from my work ethic. I think that's something that I've harped on a lot, and I always tell the guys hard work pays off. And I wouldn't be here today if I didn't believe that. If I was like, oh man, I got fired, and it was just like, okay, I'm done, then I'd be working insurance or whatever it is nowadays. So buying into that process and what it takes, the work ethic to get you to where you need to get to, and that's where I am today. So again, you can learn from my path, but they're each going to have their own path, but what you can learn from me can also help you guys. So that's something we talk about.
How much does that shape the culture that you try to implement now on your side of the ball?
Like I said, it's daily. It's daily. It's something that we talk about. Your cultures, man, your habits and your beliefs, and that's what we talk about through it and throughout. And that Martin Mall that we talk about is true, and the Martin Made and the chip on the shoulder and stuff like that. That's a daily discussion, because that's who we are, really.
Yeah, awesome. And then, so that's who you are from a cultural standpoint, from a philosophical and mindset standpoint. On the field, how would you describe your defense, or what would you like to see your defense described as?
I would love if somebody turned it on. They're complicated. That's what I would love somebody to say, is that they play hard. They play hard and they're complicated. Well, in our eyes, it's not really that complicated. I think we structurally have some pieces that are easy, fluid. I don't like to say that, hey, we're a 4-3 or a 3-4 or whatever we are. We have all the pieces that takes, and depending on what the players can do, and that's what that dictates. So, I'd say they turn it on. They're like, wow, these guys, they do a lot and they move a bunch, and disruptive. That's what I would love for them to say, is disruptive. Hey, they disrupt the ball. They disrupt the quarterback. They disrupt the offensive line. We play in their backfield. We disrupt the timing of routes. We try to get after those guys. So, that's what I would love for them to look at and be like, wow, it's a lot of stuff, man. They get after it and they play hard. So I think so far we've done that, and we'll see where we go from there.
Very nice. You referenced it. You've been at the FBS level, a few different places. You've been some different places now, FCS level. There's never been a greater time of change or flux in college football than what we're all experiencing really the last 3 years. What has it been like for you living and existing through that? And maybe how much appreciation does it give you for what it is there at Martin, and just maybe the good approach that is there at Martin?
Being here, it's, like you mentioned earlier, it's a little bit secluded. It is a little bit out there. So, it kind of forces you to focus on just the now, focus on the present, and not worry about all the other stuff. Cause that the stuff that's important now, and that's what you tell the players. And, what are you guys coming here to do? You're coming here to play football and go to school, and that's what you get to focus on. And same thing for us as coaches. You don't worry about all the other stuff going on, because man, I gotta coach these guys day in and day out, because they're hungry. They want to be here. They're here to play football and they want to get better. So, being kind of secluded, it's been good. It's been good for us. There's not a lot of distractions. There's not like, hey, Saturday after the game, what are we doing? Where are we going? Are we doing this? Or hey, Sunday morning is going to be rough. No, I'm gonna hang out. I got a 1-year-old son at home, and we're gonna go home, hang out there. And then tomorrow I'm gonna get up and we're gonna coach these guys harder just this week as I did the previous week. So, all the stuff going on, man, I can't tell you where it's going. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just trying to focus on our team right now and our success and see where we can finish for the rest of the season.
Awesome. And close to wrapping up here. All right. There's not a lot of off days in season, or especially not in season or off season for that matter. But let's say you've got an off day. Are you golfing, hiking, fishing? What are you doing on those rare off days? And obviously you have a 1-year-old. So how cool is that? What's your favorite thing to do on an off day with your family?
Just spending time with them. We it's the fall time, so we had a bye week a couple weeks ago. We did the pumpkin patch. That was have to go to the pumpkin patch and get the pictures and ride the hay rides and stuff like that. So spending time with them. Getting out, go up the road to Nashville or go downtown to the library. The library's a big thing in town. It's a brand new library. So getting him, letting him play. So really whatever my wife and son want to do that day is what we're going to do. And the golf game's been limited as soon as he's the last year or so. So, but when the summer comes around, that's what I like to do a little bit, is see if I can get out and play a little bit of golf. But that's about it.
Favorite course anywhere you've ever played?
Oh my goodness, man! I obviously live in Myrtle Beach, man. That's golf course capital of the world, and didn't have a whole lot of money to go play all the nice courses, all the time, being a GA and stuff. But man, I always liked Arrowhead, and there's World Tour. World Tour
is awesome. Yeah,
different than in the different holes throughout the world and stuff. Where it's cool. It's pretty neat. I got to play that one time. Wasn't cheap, but I got to play it one time. So there's a bunch of good ones around. So
that's awesome. All right, Coach, you've been super gracious with your time. You're in the midst of an incredible season, personal success, team success. I know you value the team success most. That's part of the culture that Jason Simpson has at UT Martin. We're really grateful for the time you spent visiting with us. Once again, UT Martin defensive coordinator Brandon Butcher. I'm John Bryce of Football Scoop here on the Our Coaching Network podcast. Thanks again.
Appreciate it.